Welcome back to my channel. I am going to go over some math stuff. I'm on the wrong page already, so here we go. So we're talking about Elvira's equation, and I keep talking about how this is the redemption chapter because there's many, many, many ways that you can ensure that you're absolutely positively correct. That's actually my favorite part about math. Math, everyone says, is like really, really hard, but my favorite part about math is that I can check my answers. Period. So I like turning in a test and knowing that I'm right. I know, but there you go. All right, jumpstart problem. It says quantities are attributes that can be counted or measured. So the word quantity just means a number of things. Okay. If you've ever heard anybody say quantity, a quantity, like what is the quantity of something? They're just saying how many of something is. Okay. Yeah. Quantitative reasoning means something that you can. Yeah. Good job. Okay. Such as dozens of eggs, 25 miles, 60 minutes, 42 students. Even your percentage in this class is a quantity. Millions of dollars, right? Okay. So notice that quantities always include a unit of measure, like eggs, miles, or minutes. Some quantities are derived, meaning they come from combining other measurements, such as miles per gallon or feet per minute. Okay. Yeah, right. Describe how you would measure the fuel efficiency of your family's car in miles per gallon. Okay, so these are all quantity answers. Describe, they're asking you about quantities. So, yeah, you can find the unit rate of something. Very good. So that's back in seventh grade. Unit rate is what you learned. In case you're wondering, like, Miss Johnson, how come you keep saying like, oh, that's back in seventh grade? What if we really didn't learn it? I guess I'm just reminding you that this is something that you know and that you shouldn't be intimidated by it, right? Okay, describe how you would measure the speed of a baseball in feet per second. Does anybody know how fast major league players pitch? Does anybody know about how fast the ball goes? Yeah. Whoa, not that fast. Yes, that fast. So someone said 183 miles per hour. Not 183 miles per hour. 90 is there. I've seen pitchers go as fast as 105, 108, right? And so think about getting hit by that thing. Yikes! That would leave a big old scar. Okay, anyways. Okay, describe how you would measure the area of the room that you're sitting in right now. Okay, so we would say something in square feet. So if you're wondering how many square feet, pretend, I don't know, I will tell you right now, I'm about 5'5". I would measure like how many times I would be able to lay across the length versus the width, right? Okay. So I think this room, I would say, is about, it looks like it's about a 10 by 12. It's 120 square feet. Okay. Describe how you would calculate the revenue collected by a roadside fruit stand if they sell bags of oranges for per pound, for per bag. What? Bags of oranges in a bag. That sounds weird. Yeah, right? So like usually when you buy fruit, it's either per pound, or when I go to Costco and I buy a bag of apples, it's per bag, right? All right. So by the end of today, you will be able to use units, so like minutes, gallons, to interpret and solve equations that contain primarily variables that represent quantities, such as a formula. You've learned a ton of formulas, right, up until today. Let's see. You should all know your, let's see, your slope intercept formula, but people say form, right? Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so what does it mean to solve an equation that contains multiple variables? And how can I use descriptions and units associated with variables to guide my thinking about such equations? My chat's flying. This is hilarious. Okay. So Elvira, she's back. Our favorite cafeteria manager. So again, she likes to keep track of the things she can count or measure in the cafeteria. She hopes this will help her improve her efficiency of the cafeteria. To remind herself to keep track of important quantities, she has made a table of variables and descriptions of things she wants to record. Here's a table of things she's decided to keep track of. Where is it? Here. So this is kind of small, so I'm going to go small here. It says S means the number of students who buy lunch in the salad line. W is the number of students who buy lunch in the sandwich line. Dude, why didn't she just use S here? Anybody know? Anybody know? Oh, I can zoom in on the other side. Yes, let me do that. Anybody know why she couldn't do that? Why couldn't she use S for sandwich? Why couldn't she use S for sandwich? Someone's already said it. Yeah, because S already means salad. Very good. You can't have a variable and it means two things, right? That would not describe a function. Doesn't that make sense? Because if I say S and you all are thinking salad, but I'm talking about sandwich, do you see the confusion there? Math is known for not being confusing like that. Yes. Yes. Okay. So P stands for the pizza line. F stands for food servers in the cafeteria. Now, everybody say MT. M, there are several ways to say this. I'll say M sub T. Yeah, M sub T. Very good. So M sub T, sub meaning like a submarine that it goes underwater. So that T is under, right? So it's M sub T. Number of minutes it takes to serve lunch to all the students. Number of minutes it takes to serve lunch. C stands for the number of classes in school. P sub L means price per lunch. Everybody okay with this? Okay, so what are we doing here? Let's see. We already read this part, I think. Determine the units that fit in the third column of the table for each of the variables whose descriptions are given. So right now, I want you to take 2 seconds to help me figure this out. So what are we measuring S, which is the number of students who buy lunch in the salad line? What are we measuring? What are we measuring? What would we measure there? So if you put the number, I don't know, 7 here, it'd be 7 what? 7 what? That's your job right now. I'm going to wait a couple seconds and then I'm going to pause it so you guys can all like try these ones on your own. Units are really important. I used to, as a teacher, I'm going to be honest, I used to think that units weren't important. Just tell me the number, give me the answer. But then I realized that as you focus on the units, it actually corrects your answer for you, especially if you get it wrong, right? Especially if you get it wrong. Okay, so what did you put? What did you put here? So if I write 7, 7 what's? 7 what's?
Miss Johnson?
Yes.
Can units? I just looked at my question and it didn't make sense. But can the units that we can answer, like let's say P, can P have the same unit as F?
Yeah. Okay. Right? Because if I was measuring things, right, and I needed to measure 2 things that measured the same thing, right? These could both have inches. It's fine. Very good. So what did you guys put here? What type of unit are we measuring? So some people said students. Someone said students who bought salad. Perfect. Some people said people. That's fine too. People who bought salad. If you're going to be creative, you're going to be the salad eaters. 7 salad eaters is fine. But in general, I'm just going to write the word student. Everybody okay with the word student? Students. Yeah, hold on. All right, so your job is to go through and name the rest of these. Miss Johnson, what does A mean? Don't worry, we'll get to the rest of this later. But right now, can you put what units these are all going to be? Okay, and I'm going to pause our little video so that you guys can try that. You at home also do the same thing. Done, 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 done. Okay, we're back. That was my intro music. Did you like it? No, don't. Please don't. Okay, so here, what were your units here? Yeah, everybody. Everybody's like, this is the same, Miss Johnson. So again, if you want to call them sandwich eaters, but I'm just going to put the word students because maybe that'll help me. So I'm going to put students. This is also students. Let's see. This is also, let's see, this one. Food servers. Now, is this going to be students? Yeah, this one is not going to be students necessarily because if you remember in, I don't know, middle school, the food servers were not students. So you can put servers, you can put workers. I don't know what is happening to my writing right here. I'm just going to be like, no judgy. Don't judgy. It says next one. Number of minutes it takes to serve lunch to all the students. What did you put? What did you put? They were very angry. Okay, they're not cooking it. Guys, you guys got off track. I love you. You got off track. Um, Come back to me. Come back. Some of you are like, I remember they were mean. It's okay. Let it go. Very good. It is minutes. It is minutes. Very good. I'm trying to do a better job of writing right now, but it's not working. Okay, what about this next one? Number of classes. Number of classes. Yeah, someone put classes. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, very good. And last one. What's the last one? What's this last one? Price per lunch. Someone put euros. Yeah, actually, I didn't see it in the chat. So price per lunch goes like this. It's going to be dollars per lunch, or a more efficient way, dollars per lunch. Got it? Yeah. So you can't just put dollars here, right? This is not going to be just dollars. Someone's like, but Miss Johnson, when you answer, how much is this pizza? You're asking a different question than price per lunch. Does that make sense? That's a little bit different. All right, I'm going to move on. It says Elvira has written. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah. This is considered a unit rate. Someone said, "Is this a unit rate?" Yes, this is a unit rate. Ms. Johnson, how do you know it's a unit rate? Because it says this word per. Right. A unit rate basically means like, let's say I bought a huge, I don't know, toilet paper just came in my mind. So imagine I went to Costco and I got a huge thing of toilet paper, right? And I was sitting there comparing. I legit do this. Okay. This is one of the main ways that I use like this kind of math in my everyday. So I compare the prices of the toilet paper to figure out which one I'm going to buy. So I say, oh, this one is, I don't know, 30 cents per roll. And this one is 48 cents per roll. And you guys are like, Miss Johnson, it's 18 cents difference. Yes, but if you multiply that over many years and many, many things, it actually does make a huge difference. So this is a unit price. Okay. So how much did I pay per thing? Or maybe you go to the donut shop because you're like, I'm going to bring donuts to class so that everybody can eat donuts. And they're like, oh, a dozen is $7. And then you wanted to know how much was it per donut. How much was it per donut? Then you would divide, right? Okay, so Elvira has written out the following equation to describe a cafeteria relationship that seems meaningful to her. She wrote the equation and introduced a new variable A to describe the relationship. It's A equals S plus W plus P divided by C. What? Okay, what does A represent in terms of the cafeteria? Record this information in the table. So here's A, and we don't know what it is. So you can use her formula and what it means to figure out what we should write here. So can you take a second to think S plus W plus P divided by C? What do you think
students plus students plus student.
Okay. Yeah, someone says in the chat, students plus, no, someone said SWP are all measured in students. So we're adding the number of students. Yeah, so this represents very good the total number of students that are eating in the cafeteria, very good, divided by C. So what do you think that represents? So when I added S plus W plus P, that gave you the total number of students, right? And when I divide it by C, what does that do? When you divide something, yeah, you divided it by classes. When you divide something, yes, but what does it mean? What does it mean? So very good. Someone says it means it's the average number of students.
Class?
Huh? You're a little laggy, Ricky. What'd you say?
How many kids per class, at least an average?
Yeah, that bought lunch, right? So I'm going to type that out really quick just so that you guys see this. Let me see here. So how, no, not how many, average number of students per class who ate lunch or who bought lunch. Let's say who bought lunch because sometimes you guys bring your own lunch. Who bought lunch? Let me put this in a, like it's outside of that text. Okay, so look here. Look here to figure out why did we say certain words. Oops, 15 is too big. Why did we say certain words according to this equation here? Does anybody recognize what made you say per? Why did you say per? What thing here do you see made me say the word per? Yeah, it's a fraction. I see division. It's a rate. Okay. So if you understand how to say these words in math, how to say, how do I say this? If you can be able to start translating, I'll use that word, translating the operation that you see here into words, then it becomes less of a task to go from here to here. So the reason why we wrote average number of students, average means you take the total number of something and you divide by the number, right? You divide by the number of numbers. That's what we do. Okay, so and what would this be? What would you measure this in? What unit would this be? Very good, by the way. Keep working. Don't give up. For those of you who are like trucking, I see.
Class?
Say it again, Ricky.
$sign per class?
So I wouldn't put a dollar sign because I don't see anything here that indicates dollar. I see dollar here for price. Very good. Yeah. Someone wrote it. They said students per class or kids per class. It's not just students. It's not just students, right? Because here it's straight the number of students, the number of students, the number of students, the number of food workers, the number of minutes, the number of classes. Here is average. And notice here, like you can literally pull the units from here. You told me that this was what was S again? It's what? You said students, right? So what's a student plus a student plus a student? More students, correct? So all up here, this is all students at the top here. Divided by, well, what is C? Oh, it's the number of classes. You guys all see how I used my units right there? So I'm literally going to take this, copy it, and then I'm pulling this up here. So that's how I figured out the unit. Everybody okay with that? Okay, so for some of you who are a little bit lost, Ms. Johnson, how did you get average number of students? If you didn't write this average number, we're okay. Because if you said number of students per class, that's how some of you described it, which was perfect. Like literally, I'm looking in my chat and I literally see number of students per class. Exactly. Good job. Ms. Johnson, how did you know to put per class? You all said that per means divided by. So the fact that I see fraction here, I should see the word per here, or vice versa. Does that make sense? The fact that I see per here means that I should see divided over here. Is everyone feeling a little bit better about like translating these things? All right, let's try another. What does A represent? We already did that. Using what you know about manipulating equations, solve this equation for S. Say what? Okay, so take this equation over here. Okay, so I'm going to copy it. So A equals S plus W plus P over C. Okay, and they want you to solve this equation for S. Huh? Okay. They want you to take this equation, and the answer all the way down here is going to say S equals. So you're going to do things. Now, if you've, hold on, if you list out what's happening exactly, thank you for writing that in the chat. That helps a lot. If you make a list of what's happening to S, so let's start making that list. You tell me, what's the first thing that's happening to S? What's the first thing that's happening to S? No, we're not going to substitute. Very good, though. Good questions. Good questions. Yeah, you're going to add S to what? W. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to add W. Got it. Oh, and someone said and P. Okay, and P. Some of you are uncomfortable with the fact that I put both of those together. If so, split them up into two different steps. But for me, I'm going to tell you, it is okay for you to put both of those together. Both of those together, totally legal. There's things that are legal in math and there's things that are not legal in math. This, totally legal. Ms. Johnson, how do I know if something's legal in math? Practice. Okay. So, oh, by the way, no. If you add S plus W plus P, it does not equal to SWP. Good question. S plus W plus P is equal to S plus W plus P. No. If you do something illegal in math, I am not going to call Einstein. But thank you for asking. Okay. Now, after I add all this stuff, what happens next? Ignore this side. What happens next? After I add all this stuff, imagine it's one big number on the top. Yeah, you divide by C. Okay, so number 2 is going to be divide by C. And then you're done. Okay? So then, in order to solve for S, what am I going to take care of first? W and P or C? Man, I got a lot of people counting on this redemption. This is awesome. Get it. That's all I got to say. Get it. Get it. Okay, so now we're moving to the solving. Remember when we were doing the boxes? The last thing that I do is going to be the what thing you do. The last thing that I do is going to be the first thing that you do. So now you're going to go this way, right? So, oops, sorry. You're going to go this way and you're going to undo, meaning inverse, in reverse order. So the first thing I want you to do is undo divide by C. Undo divide by C. Undo. Okay, so can everybody take care of that right now? And I am going to pull out some of these awesome things. Both sides. So, number one, let's say this together. You're going to undo divide by C. How do you undo divide by C? How do you undo divide by C? Can you put that out to the public chat, please? Very good. Thank you for doing that. Very good. So the very first thing you want me to do is undo divide by C, and someone told me to multiply by C. Wait, why is multiplying the undoing of division? Oh no, that makes sense. That's what your brain should be saying that. Why would multiply undo division? Oh, that makes sense. So now you're going to multiply by both sides. Both sides. Just try it. Be wrong right now. And then I'm going to show you how to do it. And you're going to be like, ha, I was right. Or, oh, I thought it was going to look like this. And then fix it. This is a doing. These are, I promise you, these are called, I think these are called literal equations. So when you're solving these equations, it's the same exact thing. But for some reason, you all see this as like, but there's no numbers. There's no numbers. They actually all are numbers, right? Sesame Street lied to you. A is a number. S is a number. W is a number. P is a number. C is a number. Otherwise, if they weren't numbers, why are you adding letters together? Right? S plus W, is that sw? Is that the beginning of the word sweep? Like sw? No. It's S plus W. It's a number plus it's actually the number of students who bought a salad plus the number of students who bought a sandwich. All right, so you guys told me to multiply by C. So I'm going to multiply by C on both sides. I like doing it like this. This is what I like doing. Okay. So what's C times A? You guys, please don't tell me a different letter. It's actually CA. You guys are like, California. Yes, it's not California. It's literally C times A. What happens over here? What happens over here? What happens over here? Before we do that, what happens over here? What happened on this right side? On the left side, C times A is California. Just kidding. It's C times A. And some of you wrote AC. AC and CA are the same or different? Same. 4 times 7, 7 times 4, same. Yeah, these two. No, these two divide out. What's C divided by C? What's 2 divided by 2? What's 4 divided by 4? What's 5 divided by 5? What's 100 divided by 100? What's 10 divided by 10? What's 24 divided by 2? What's 2.7 divided by 2.7? What is negative 2/3 divided by negative 2/3? Yes, you all get it? It's 1? Very good. It is 1. So I'm just going to write a 1 there. So I don't need to multiply 1 times anything. It's just left with S plus W plus P. S plus W plus P. Good? Okay, done. I did this one. Check. I did it. I undid it. How can you tell you did the right step? Because look, my S is more by himself than before. S is now more by itself than before. Because look, I want to get here where S is completely alone, right? If you're cleaning your room, and this is how messy your room looks. Look how messy it is. And then, 20 minutes later, your mom walks in the room. I don't know who. Someone walks in the room and they're like, oh, I see progress. Is this progress? Everyone should say, yes, it's progress. And some of you are like, no, Miss Johnson, looks confusing. Just look, right? There's less stuff here. Okay, now what? Undo, add W, add P. Undo, adding W, adding P. How do you undo adding W, adding P? How do you do that? Yes, subtract. Okay, so I'm going to do one at a time just so that everybody...
Subtract that.
I don't know. Poor... You are like so laggy. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do them one at a time. So subtract W. So I'm going to write subtract W here. Does everybody see what's W minus W? What's W minus W? Let's try. What's 4 minus 4? What's 2 minus 2? What's negative 4 minus negative 4? What's 3.7 minus 3.7? Yay. Thank you. Thank you. I got a bunch of zeros in there. So it's a 0, right? So this is 0. Okay, I'll write a little 0 there. And then how do you undo add p? No, I saw your 0. You're fine. How do you undo add p? Yes, minus p. Exactly. Minus p. Minus p. So again, what's p minus p? 0. I know. This sounds very, like, it sounds so obvious, right? Hey guys, what did you learn today? P minus p is 0, right? That's something that you've known since 2nd grade. I don't know. Even as a 2-year-old, if you had something and I took it away, you have nothing. I know. That's so mean, huh? Like stealing candy from you. That's so mean, Miss Johnson. I didn't say I stole from you. I just took it away for a second. Okay, here's the big question. So, do you agree on this side I have S plus 0 plus 0? Does everybody see that? Okay, good. Because if you don't see it, then this is zeroed out. This is zeroed out. I just have S. Yay! Your room is clean. But now on this side, let's talk about it. What's CA minus W minus P? What's CA minus W minus P? Oh, you guys are making this difficult. You guys are going to laugh at yourself. That's what CA minus W minus P looks like. Ready? So, what is that word? So non-climactic when your iPad is slow, okay? Like, just know that it's been there for a while. No. I know, anticlimactic. Miss Johnson. Oh, there it goes. But wait, there's more. Boom. Wait, Miss Johnson, what? Yeah, you literally just copy it. CA minus W minus P, don't like think like it's like this other letter. It just means you're subtracting, and you can't subtract any of these letters, right? CA minus W minus P is CA minus W minus P. Okay. Just like S plus W is S plus W. It's not SW, right? Everybody okay with this? Okay. Ms. Johnson, you said to check everything. How would you check this answer? The way I check this answer is I'd plug this in. I'd take all of this stuff that C equals, all of this stuff, and I'd plug it in. I mean, S equals, and I'd plug it into there and see if it's a true statement. So really quickly, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that really quick because I need to convince you that if you can check your answers every single time, you will get an A on this test. You will actually get higher than an A plus, and I mean higher than 100% on this class. Okay, so I got A equals to big line divided by C. I'm going to leave some space right there. Was that supposed to be a P? And put that in there. And then I'm going to copy in CA minus W minus P. All right, look for something you can do. Anybody see anything you could do? No, that's okay. Anybody see anything they can do? What can you do? Just try. Just guess. It's okay. Yes, you can cancel something out. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What can you cancel out? Look at this whole thing. What can you cancel out? That's right. You can cancel out. Yes. Miss Johnson, look, minus W plus W is 0. Does everybody see that? Yeah, very good. Okay, so I'm going to write this all out like step by step so you can see it. I'm also going to cancel out minus P minus plus P is 0. So then all I have left is CA over C equals A. Anybody see anything else that we can do? Anybody see anything? Anybody see anything? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, some people are seeing it. Keep going. Just look. Take 2 seconds. I know, boom, drop the mic. Don't drop the mic though, because your mics are your computers. That would be bad. Don't drop the mic. Yeah, you're right. Very good. So some people saw the fact that this is a 1 right here. Does everybody see my 1 right here? Right? C divided by C is 1. Miss Johnson. Okay, this is weird, Miss Johnson. I get A equals A. Is that true? Is that true? Do I get A equals A? Is A equals A? Is that a true statement?
A is exactly to A,
Yeah.
not B.
Someone says, is that like our dogs animals? Actually, it's even better. It's our animals, right? That's literally what it's saying. Are you you? That's what it's saying. Are you you? And you're like, yes. Are animals crackers? Are animal crackers? They're more like a cookie. Okay, enough. So if you plug this in and you get a true statement, A equals A, that means you got it right. Okay, 100%. Miss Johnson, of course, will draw a happy face, a big happy face because she's excited. All right, let's move on. Celebrate that right there. Every single one of these like happy faces that you get because you checked your answer should be a celebration. All right, so we move on. Okay, so then it says your solution will be in the form of S is equal to an expression written in terms of the variables A, C, W, and P. So get used to hearing me say, I need you to solve for S. I need you to solve for S. In your brain, that means S equals. On the other side, there's all going to be this confusion of letters and operations, but it doesn't matter. So do you see how important it was for you to understand how to solve an equation? Because if you can't do it in numbers, do you think you'll be able to do it with letters? Everyone's saying no, you can't. Okay, so if you are confused at all and you're like, I'm getting so lost here, go back and solve some equations with numbers and see if you can get better at it. Just because you can't do it first does not mean you can't do it ever. It just means you can't do it right now. Get that in your head. All right. Does your expression S make sense in terms of the meanings of the other variables? Why or why not? Okay, now let's look at this guy. Okay, now I'm going to try to, no, okay, I'm going to bring this guy up here so I can compare him to all of our letters, right? Okay, so does this make sense? Could S, which is what? The number of salad eaters. Could salad eaters equal to C times A? Remember that whenever we have two numbers like C and A variables, and they're sitting right next to each other with no operation there, that literally means they're being multiplied. If you want to remind yourself, you stick a little multiplication sign in there and you feel a little better. C times A. C is what? What's C? Yeah, the number of classes times A, which is the average number of students per class. Now, if I multiply C times A, do you see now how all you'll have left is just the total number of students? That's what you told me earlier. S plus W plus P is the total number of students. Okay, so the total number of students who bought lunch minus W, sandwich eaters minus P, pizza eaters is going to be S, salad eaters. Does that make sense? Does the total number of students minus sandwich eaters minus pizza eaters, does that make sense? Everyone says, yeah, right? Makes sense to me. Okay, so let's move on. Think deeply about these things. Think deeply. All right, here's another equation. Oh my gosh, what is this equation? What does R represent in this equation? So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to let you, yeah, kind of like a process of elimination, exactly. So I want you to take this equation back to your things here and kind of give me what you think R means. Kind of give me your first best guess at what R means according to this equation. Now, you already know what S plus W plus P means. This is what you guys said over and over again. So there's like the total number of students and we're multiplying it by something. What would that equal? Okay, so right now I'm going to pause. Okay, so what we learned was you all said that S plus W plus P is the total number of lunches. So total number, of students who bought lunch, of students who bought lunch, right? Okay, PL was the price per lunch. So if I take those two and I multiply price per lunch, so I'm going to write that out. I go price per lunch times total number. I'm just going to put of lunches because that might be easier. And some of you will see something. Anybody see anything that happens here? Price per lunch times total number of lunches. Anybody see anything that happens here? Anybody see it? Yeah, you can cancel what? Yes, you can cancel lunch with lunch. Wait, you want me to cancel the lunches? So what am I left with? What am I left with here? No lunches. But what is the answer for what does R represent? Yeah, the total amount of money, if you want to say. You can say price or you can say money. The total amount of money that was collected that day. Okay, total amount of money. I'm going to write it like this. Total amount of money. Do you guys know this word revenue? Have you heard this word revenue? So let's pretend that we open a lemonade stand. Okay, we open a lemonade stand and we sell lemonade. We sell. Okay, you guys are in charge of counting the money. You count how much money we collected. And it was like $400. I don't know, something like that. Okay, you guys worked hard. You hustled. $400. The revenue is the total amount of money collected. That's what revenue means. When you hear the word revenue, when you guys are seniors and you're taking econ, the word revenue just means all the amount of money that was collected, right? So some people like to say that's how much money they made. Now, that's a curious thought because technically when you're making money, you have to subtract out how much we paid for the lemons and the cups and the ice and the water, right? So once we subtract off that, that's called our, anyone know this word? It starts with a P. Yeah, you know this. Go ahead. Yeah, profit. It's called the profit, right? So that word, when we say how much money we made, that's an ambiguous term. So that's why economists will separate that out between how much money they collected versus how much money they gained, right? How much money they gained from that. Very good. So this is where I'm going to pause it right now. Good job today.